welcome back, my fairies. I'm Matsurific, and we are back with more miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Chat Noir. This is the new special that has just come out, Miraculous World Tokyo, which seems to be I don't know if it's a crossover between another Zag series called Stellar Force, or if it's like I've heard both. It's a crossover, and then it's also like a pilot for this show called Stellar Force. I have not been able to watch any other Zag show. I have not been able to find any of them. Apparently there's supposed to be like a couple of them. I've not seen any of them, and it's like, I kind of want to. Just like, you know, I enjoy Miraculous. It'd be nice to be able to find these other shows and maybe talk about them more and have something to talk about when we don't have more Miraculous to talk about. So you guys are welcome to correct me in the comments about what that is. As always, unfortunately, due to my drawing tablet being broken, I am going to have to supplement with some gameplay of Pokemon Legends ZA as Marinette. I hope that's alright, and apologies that these videos are coming out so late. I am going to try my best to get all of these cranked out as soon as possible. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and go watch the special, and Excuse me? Excuse me? Chat Noir special when? Well, I already know what the thumbnail is going to be, and you guys are not waiting on this one. I'm sorry if you were spoiled by the thumbnail. Yes, I've already made the thumbnail before recording this, because Chat Noir special when? You cannot do this to me, Zag! You cannot show me the end of this special with Adrien transforming in front of Aeon and Sparrow and all of the New York heroes, and this giant ominous hand in the sky, and expect me to be normal about this. Oh my gosh. That's like not even the special itself. It's a tidbit at the end. And oh my goodness. You cannot expect me to be normal about that. I'm gonna apologize to you guys for spoiling that in the thumbnail, but you cannot expect me to be normal about this. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Oh, you guys know what this means. Do you guys know what this means? We are getting an Adrien special. An entire special dedicated to my son in the black cat costume. Yeah. I need this now. I need this now. Oh my goodness. So, yeah. Miraculous? Well, wait, Marinette was in this? Kagami is in this. What? I only saw my son Adrien. I'm sorry. Miraculous World, Tokyo Stellar Force. Oh my goodness. Where do I even begin? I know, obviously, the beginning, like how these videos always go, but I'm sorry, that ending sequence broke me. How do words again? I don't have words. Oh my goodness. Okay, I gotta get together. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. So the special starts off. I was actually really surprised when the special starts and it's in 3D. It's like, oh my goodness. But we get some nice callbacks in this special. I keep wanting to say episode. If I say episode, forgive me. But we get a callback to a very recent episode. I forget which episode it was. or at least the name of it. It was the one, oh, Sleeping Siren. We get a callback to Sleeping Siren, where the girls are all talking about, you know, what they do with their partners and, you know, having secrets and things that they do together. And we find out that Kagami will transform into Ryuko and also use the special space power to go and see Felix, who will also transform into Argos, use the space power and meet her in the middle above the ocean for their dates and rendezvous. And we actually get to see one of their rendezvous here. And it was really cute. Sorry, because my brain is so Cat Noir. Chat Noir, when? Wait, what do you mean Chat Noir's not in this special? What do you mean this wasn't about Kim? But yeah, they're having like a really cute boyfriend-girlfriend moment. And she's like, you kind of see that she's not kind of struggling, like telling Felix like how exactly she feels, you know. Obviously he knows that that she cares about him, but like, you know, she still has a hard time expressing herself because, you know, it's Kagami. Also, one of the things I do want to point out, like visuals wise, it kind of felt like, because like I noticed that the hair especially looked kind of plasticky, and I actually have a theory about this special, that this might have been made specifically so that they could test out the new animation engine. I don't know if that's actually the case or not, but it kind of feels like it is because their hair feels very plasticky compared to the show, and normally the specials have much higher animation budgets than the show, so it did feel a bit off, but I think this might have been specifically so that they could play around with that. So I am willing to forgive it a little bit, just with the idea that, you know, this was probably them playing around with it and getting used to it. This was probably the first thing that they made with it. Anyways, we cut to Marinette sitting in her room talking to Adrien on the phone, and you know, they're talking. Adrien is telling Marinette that he's actually, like, he's in New York right now, but he'll only be there for a few days, and oh, they miss each other, and they wish they could be together, and it's like, oh. Apparently, this is, like, from stuff that we find out later on, this seems to be our second special to take place between the time skip between the end of season 5 and the start of season 6. Because we actually see Kagami in her old school uniform later, which was interesting. So this is the first time that we've had two specials that take place in the same time skip. Well, I guess technically the London special wasn't like a time skip special. It was just like, this is what happens right after. But this is the first time we've had more than one special between seasons, which I found interesting. They do a little callback here to the New York special, with Marinette talking about how, you know, she wishes she could be with Adrien so that they could dance together. And then Adrien, the most romantic boyfriend in the world, as he is, plays their song that they dance together, and Marinette even calls it their song. It's like, guys, it's actually officially their song. They've officially said that it's their song. Ah! Sorry. Anyways, I'm totally normal about these two 14, 15-year-olds in love. Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally normal about this. Anyways, Marinette gets jump scared by Ryuko, who wind dragons her way into her bedroom. So she's got to come up with a story to tell Adrien. Oh, I promised my parents I'd read them a bedtime story tonight. You read your parents a bedtime story? Oh, Marinette, you need better excuses. Great, she was caught off guard, but like, she's had better excuses than this. But, yeah. So she's like, oh, we'll talk soon. And Kagami detransforms, and this is where we see that she's in her old school uniform that she moved to Paris with, that she's been wearing this entire time. And she tells Marinette that they need to go to Tokyo, And we see Nadia doing, like, she shows Nadia, she shows Marinette some news footage of Nadia covering some disaster happening in Tokyo, which Kagami apparently knows something about, saying that they have to leave right away. And it's like, wait, as in right now? But what about your mother? It's like, she doesn't really have a choice in the matter. And Felix, he's in London. What do I tell my parents? And then, okay. Yeah, Marinette, you did. Like, I get that it's, you know, a gag, but like, are we really... Let's not teach kids that it's better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. Because that's exactly what she does. She calls them up and says, hey, is it okay if I go to Tokyo with Kagami? Tokyo? Well, we don't really have the money for that. Oh, it's okay. She's gonna cover it. Okay, but this is a bit sudden. Do you know when? Actually, now we're on the plane already heading over there. It's like, they didn't need to do this because, like, Sabine even says, well, we were going to say yes anyways. Like, if this was my child doing this, I would be so furious with them. They would be grounded when they got back. Like, if I knew that an adult was going, maybe I'd be okay with my child going and there's no school and stuff, because they are on break from school, canonically. But like, the girl, no, this is not something any parent would be okay with or should be okay with. I get that it's a gag, I know, I'm overthinking it. Yeah. The girl didn't even change her clothes, she's still in her pajamas. And apparently the plane is also run by the Tatsu program. So, yeah, I don't know how her parents are so cool with this, honestly, though. But, it finally hits Marinette that she's still in her pajamas, and Kagami's like, well, you could borrow some of my clothes. And she opens up an entire closet of just the same school uniform. I'm guessing it's supposed to be kind of a joke towards, about, you know, how, you know, animation works. You typically, typically in a live action show, characters will wear different outfits in every episode, but in animation, it's usually easier for characters to wear the same outfits every time, so that, you know, save on the budget. But they kind of make that joke with Kagami opening up this closet and revealing that she's got like 12 different versions of this exact same uniform. Like 13 if you count the one that she's wearing right now. Just all stowed away on this plane. And Marinette's like, actually, do you just have a sewing machine? And she makes her jacket. She just remakes her original jacket from seasons 1 through 5. But we then get this interesting scene, like after she finishes making it. We get this scene where Kagami's like playing this group chat for her, because apparently they all are talking in like recorded messages for some reason. But Marinette's like, oh, I don't speak Japanese. And they kind of just pulled this out of their butts. With a little Tiki with a little Deus Ex Machina. Not sure how I feel about this. Like, it would have been nice to have some sort of allusion to the fact that they could do this before. But Tiki just sort of goes into Marinette's head, basically being an earworm, so that Marinette can understand and speak Japanese. And when I tell you, the anime girl in me, when I heard Marinette go, "Sugoi!" in Japanese, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't need the subtitles, I know what that means. And like the subtitles themselves add like this little accent above one of the O's, just to, I guess, to kind of say that, tell you that, oh, that she's not speaking French. And then like the dub switches back to French, so, you know, for French kids watching the show, they would hear Marinette go "Sugoi!" and in Japanese, and then continue on speaking in French so the kids can understand, which, you know, fair, understandable. So they play everything back, and we hear a bunch of different characters. I did get confirmation. Like, Lexi did tell me that this is supposed to be a pilot for a new up and coming show, and it's like, okay, fair. There's 12 new characters, and yeah, it's they kind of get lost. They do at least focus mainly on specifically 2 characters, but like this bit here definitely feels like you would want to know these characters better first before going through all of this. But the characters are basically just like arguing about what their team name is going to be, and like they have some like really unusual suggestions, but it's like, oh, but maybe we should save this until after we beat this monster. And for some reason, Marinette picks up like this part was a little. This could have used another pass, but Marinette picks up on one specific person. It's like, oh, who's that? It's like, that's Kazuno, and he's nobody important. It's like, Kazuno? Okay. Yes, continue. So like she kind of picks up that something's going on with Kazuno. I don't know how she got that from this conversation, but like basically like it's kind of meant to show like how things are going. Kagami kind of tenses up when Kazuno talks about not feeling comfortable with dancing anymore, which is alluding to the big problem later on. But Kagami tells Marinette that they're going to Tokyo so that they can help this new team of heroes because they don't really have any guidance and they're kind of lost. But she also reveals that these people used to be her friends. And I am kind of with Marinette, but at the same time, girl, there's a thing you need to learn called tact. Where she's like, wait, you used to have friends? And I'm just like, wasn't that kind of her backstory that she didn't really have friends before Marinette? But they do kind of explain it later as well, so I'm willing to forgive it. Yeah, she's like, oh, it's ancient history, there's nothing to tell. And that's like, she basically lets it be that. And then we get this transitional sequence, and it just switches from 3D to 2D. And it's interesting. I'm guessing they're planning on the new show being in 2D. And I'm not saying that the 2D was bad. The 2D was actually really good in this. And props to them for having figured out how to animate Ladybug's spots in 2D. Because that was a big issue when they were first getting the show off the ground. And when they made the POV as a proof of concept, they had such a hard time animating Ladybug's spots. Clearly that wound up being less of an issue in this. And I think that's actually why they had Marinette forget to change beforehand, was because as someone who draws Miraculous fan art, I can tell you myself that it is a lot easier to draw Marinette when you just completely forego drawing the detailed flowers on her shirt and also the little polka dots on her jacket liner. It's a lot easier to draw her without those extra details. So I think that might actually be why they had her forget to change, was so that they could have an easier time of drawing her. Because it does look like it was a lot easier to draw. Because I'm pretty sure the 2D the 2D chibi specials are all like puppets. This did not look like flash animation. This looked like hand drawn, just like very, very nicely hand drawn. But we then arrive in Tokyo. Actually, no, I guess this does kind of look like puppets, actually. Now that I'm looking at it better, it does look a little like puppets. So, I guess I take that back. It does look kind of puppety. we even get like a little 3D model with the Eiffel Tower, and yeah, it does look a little puppety, but when they're in the taxi going to see Kagami's grandmother, explain her grandmother, please? Her grandmother seems nice. How did she raise a woman like Tomoe? But anyways, so we get to meet this taxi driver who's actually like a huge fan of Paris and also of Ladybug as well. Like he's a big fan of, he really enjoys French culture. And then he mentions being a fan of Ladybug, and they kind of give each other a look like, haha, if only he knew Ladybug was in its backseat. But he drops them off, and then that's actually important too. I kind of like that, you know, it's a bit of world building. Like, it's like, okay, you know, it's not some nice downtime, but it's also setting up for what happens later on in the episode. We then, you know, we then find out that Kagami's grandmother, well, they don't really explain this too much. It kind of seems like they run an inn. Actually, yeah, I think this might be an inn. Marinette, you know, I do also like that they kind of go over like Japanese culture and stuff here for, cause you know, I know all this stuff because I've been into anime for such a long time, at least half my life now. So I've picked up on a lot of these cultural significances, but it's kind of cool that they actually like bring up a lot of this stuff with Marinette like putting out, oh right, I'm supposed to take off my shoes when walking into a Japanese person's home. It's like, yes, thank you. And they did a really nice job with like the character designs too, with the grandmother wearing a yukata. Or no, she's not wearing a yukata, she's wearing a kimono. But they do wear yukata later, which, again, love that. But then, oh my goodness, we cut over to, like, an honest-to-goodness supervillain lair. And we meet the bad guys, who are just, like, kind of watching the superheroes. And I forget this guy's name, but, like, we get, like, this, you know, the whole cast of Super Sentai alien villains. Like, we don't even really get to know much about them, but, you know, again, like, you know, this is, like, a pilot. It's like a backdoor pilot, kind of like the Darkwing Duck special in DuckTales. But, like, the villains at least have kind of some interesting designs, but, like, this is absolutely Lord Zed and Rita, and just, this is Super Sentai, and is taking me back to when I was a little girl watching the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on Fox Kids, and like, oh my goodness, just, my heart, the nostalgia, like, oh my goodness, like, this is what you think of when you think of a Japanese superhero show. You think Super Sentai, and oh my goodness, yes. But they're like they make it very clear that they're not human because they think humans are weak. And you know, the typical bad guy stuff is like, oh, that's their weakness. They want to protect humans. That's the typical human weakness. It's like, okay, cliche, but I love it. I love some cliche Super Sentai. I'm sorry. It's like I'm back in the 90s. But Marinette is, you know, trying out some Japanese dishes, and it's like, so good! It's like, yes. But I really do like the design of Kagami's grandmother with her pink hair. Like, she kind of actually reminds me of Aelita from Code Lyoko a little bit. But she then talks a little bit more about, you know, Japanese culture and how they are, you know, very rich in folklore and, you know, with like fantastical creatures and yokai. And it's like, it's not really all that important to the actual special itself, but it is important to, you know, people who haven't experienced this kind of thing before, who don't who for this being their first time, if this is your first time being exposed to Japanese culture, it's nice giving people a little bit of a preview, because again, this show is aimed for children who probably aren't watching Japanese anime with English subtitles, children whose main experience watching anime is probably Pokemon and Dragon Ball, which don't take place in fictional Japan. They take place in an actual fictional world and stuff. So it's kind of fun that they're introducing this to kids. Also, something I just noticed, again, I know you guys can't see it, but they made Marinette's hair blue in this, but they made Kagami's hair darker. But when you look at them in the 3D art style, Marinette's hair is darker and Kagami's hair is blue. So they basically swapped their hair colors, which is odd and unusual. I'm a little curious why they did that. I can understand making Marinette's hair blue for this, but why is Kagami's hair darker than hers when Season 6 shows us that Kagami's hair is actually lighter than Marinette? She still has blue hair. Even in the 3D stuff at the beginning of the special, she still had darker hair. Marinette's hair was actually true black. But that was it. I just found that interesting. Marinette, of course, gets enthralled with one of the stories that Kagami's grandmother tells her about this princess who fell in love, and she's like, "Oh, it's so romantic." And then she mentions Kagami's old boyfriend, and Marinette's like, "Excuse me? Boyfriend? What?" It's like, what was his name? Kazuno? And we find, it's like, oh yes, that's the boy from before. It's like, he wasn't my boyfriend, and I wasn't planning on going to this festival. It's like, Marinette's like, excuse me? Girl, what? There is tea and you need to spill? But her grandmother is like, okay, well, let me get you some yukata and get the bath ready. Marinette does kind of the anime thing of, oh, she ate too much, and now her stomach is bloated. It was, I get what they're doing, but it still felt kind of weird. Zag, do we need to have a conversation? I don't know, this felt weird, because, normally, when they have this kind of gag in anime, it's not this exaggerated. I don't know. It was a choice. Not a choice that I would have made, but a choice. But then we come back to the taxi driver, and he gets someone coming, taking a cab with him, but then she puts up all these devices around the cab, and they transform, and it's like, oh, it's actually the bad guy. But I guess they show up Kagami's rooms. We do see some fencing equipment in the room, and there's also a picture of Kagami with all of her friends, the 12 new characters that are being introduced in this special, that of which we only get to know 2 of them, which, I guess, it makes sense that they would want to focus on 2 specific characters, especially the 2 characters that are the focus. But it is also kind of odd, because normally in Super Sentai, the character in red is the leader, and in this, they kind of implied that the red guy is the leader in this as well, but the focus is more on yellow and black, who are, Kazuno and, I think Yuri was her name? So Kazuno is black and Yuri is yellow. So, and we do also see, red kind of in the center as well, but we really don't get to know much of anything about most of these characters, which, as a backdoor pilot, I can understand wanting to at least introduce all of your main characters, but as a story, it just felt very bloated with way too many characters. Because even Super Sentai usually focus on 5 main characters. But this group is a group of 12, And it also makes sense because their whole thing is that they're constellations, and they're based off of, you know, the zodiac, like Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, etc. Sorry, bit of a spoiler, but I assume you've already watched the special. Why are you watching a review if you haven't watched the special yet? And Marinette guesses that Kazuno is the one in black, and we get introduced to another bit of Japanese culture about how, you know, it's actually very common for people to bathe together, that it's more of a ritual and a moment of sharing. And we get to see Kagami and Marinette in their yukata as well. You know, Marinette and Tiki kind of discuss a little bit, you know, the plot, basically. It's like, oh, why doesn't Kagami talk to her friends? I don't know. And then we get... This felt a little too far for a joke, honestly. We get this older Harajuku woman. Harajuku is a style in Japan typically more worn by teenagers and young women. But this is like an older woman rocking this style, wearing the, you know, the tan makeup, and, you know, her hair is dyed blonde, and she's just wearing a lot of excessive makeup. Marinette gets kind of jump scared by her. I don't know, I haven't heard of this being a thing for adults, but I don't know, maybe she's someone who was into the style when it was popular and never grew out of it, maybe? But like, they kind of hold on to Marinette's reaction to her for a bit too long, and it felt a little insensitive, I'm not gonna lie. It felt a little insensitive. It's like, that's kind of a big piece of Japanese culture. But, anyways, Marinette is still, like, super shocked. It's like, oh, I thought I saw a yokai. You know, he's like, oh, an older woman with a lot of makeup and blonde hair? Yeah, oh yeah, that's my grandmother's friend. It's like, oh, okay. And then, again, I get this is, like, how it is in Japan, but, you know, we get the mandatory anime trope of teenage girls in a hot spring. It's like, they're 14, like, okay, yes, that's something you see a lot in Japanese anime, but do we really have to go there with the French show? I'm just getting flashbacks, like, this whole scene made me think of that one comic, that recalled comic, where they had Marinette walking around New York in her birthday suit, and it's like, Zach, do we need to have another conversation? Do we need to have another conversation? I would rather not have this conversation with you again. Can we not? But it is a common anime trope, and they decide to go with it. I swear I do like this special. I do like it, it's just, some things hit kind of, a little tasteless, honestly. But, Marinette, you know, like, fortunately they don't do the other trope, where the teenage girls are commenting on each other's bodies. Marinette and Kagami are just having girl talk. So thank you for not having them obsess over each other's bodies. That would definitely be way too far, and I'm willing to forgive this because they don't do that. But anyways, they get into the girl talk. Marinette's trying to get Kagami to spill the tea, and she's like, you know, he didn't love me. Oh, but you did? Well, now is not the time to talk about that. Well, I thought Bath was supposed to be time to share. She's like, well, if Adrien told you, like, she then goes into her, like, her actual backstory, and, like, I would have watched this anime. Like, just this anime, I would have watched an anime just about this whole Kagami backstory we're getting here. About how, you know, she wasn't really allowed in the outside world, very similar to Adrien, most likely, you know, because she's a senti being. She had her teachers come to her, she didn't have any friends, and then on her 14th birthday, it actually goes into a flashback here. And if you didn't notice this, I noticed this immediately, but we get a little callback to Anna Maestro, where Kagami is wearing the same clothing that she wore in Anna Maestro for the like Ladybug and Chat Noir movie premiere, when Chloe convinced Marinette that Kagami was going to steal Adrien back to Japan and made a whole bunch of really racist comments. Seriously, why did people expect her to get redeemed? I'm sorry, but like, can we not redeem racists? Like, blatant racism in that episode. But anyways, so, yeah. She's wearing that same outfit, and I noticed that immediately. But, she goes to speak to Tomoe, and it's like, I'm turning 14 today. Tomoe's like, well, what do you want? I'm gonna go to school. No, pick something else. And Kagami's like, no. Like, actually defying her. So she's like, okay, fine. You see this ring? And she takes off the ring with Kagami's amok in it. It's like, if you keep it from touching the ground, you can go to school. So Kagami grabs, like, this sequence was actually, like, really nice. Very well animated. Like, this is one of those scenes like, okay, this has to be 2D. You cannot tell me this is, like, this has to be hand-drawn. Like, this is something you would hand-draw. But she goes to the wall, seamlessly goes to the wall, grabs a bow and arrow, and then she shoots the ring dead center and pins it to her mother's chair. And it's like, okay, you can go. So she ends up getting enrolled in Kano Academy, an international school that combines sports and academics. But obviously, like, I think the international part is so that they can have all these characters of different ethnicities and racial backgrounds, which was actually pretty cool, because, like, you know, one of the main characters is blonde with green eyes, and it's like, oh my gosh, is she the Adrien of this show? And so, like, hey, what are you good at? And then we've got this African-American girl who comes along. I love her design, first off. Like, they gave her the textured hair. Like, they did a really nice job with this textured hair. Like, it looks really good in this 2D style. And of course, they even give her a larger nose. Like, yes, 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 yes. Don't be afraid to give black girls a larger nose. Yes. Sorry, I know that I'm not black, but it's still important to me that black people get represented properly. So, thank you for giving us a good black character design. Yes. Anyways, I think it was Yumi. Oh, Miki. Miki's her name. Yumi was a different character. Miki's the blonde one. Sorry, I said Yumi. I said something else earlier. Miki. Yeah, Miki challenges Kagami. It's like, okay, let's see who's better. Let's go through this obstacle course, and whoever touches that button at the end wins. And so Miki, you know, parkours through the course, like, you can't, like, how, like, this is some superhuman speed and strength she's showing here. Like, she's not even transformed or anything. It's obviously before they get their transformations. But, she hits the button, and then it's like, okay, beat that, new girl. It's like, fine, but if I succeed, then you'll be my friend for 2 weeks. Like, oh, Kagami, that's not how you make friends. It's like, okay, sure, deal. So Kagami just flings her rapier through the obstacle course and presses the button with it. And it's like, hey, that's cheating. You just said to press the button. You didn't say how to do it. It's like, yeah, it's fair. It's like, but you didn't specify. It's like, Miki's like, okay, this, like, I don't know if I want to be friends with you when you act like this. But Kazuno is like, hey, don't fight. And then he kind of pulls a Marinette here, and he trips and falls, accidentally throwing the two across the gym in opposite directions. Like, he is absolutely the Marinette of the group, and Miki is kind of the Adrien. Well, although really Kazuno is more a fusion of Marinette and Adrien, and they kind of allude to that with his design as well, because he's got, you know, he's got black hair but also green eyes. So it's like, you can kind of imagine this might be what Adrien and Marinette's child might look like. Okay. Anyways, you know, he's like, hey, I'll be your friend. No strings attached. And Kagami was like, not even sure how to deal with that. It's like, well, if he's being nice to me, he clearly wants something. She doesn't really know how exactly to handle someone being nice to her for the sake of being nice. But he then invites her to go to the arcade with them. And he shows her this dancing game. You know, like Dance Revolution, basically. And he gets her to join in with him, and she ends up being pretty good. And then they do a 2-player, and that's when Kagami kind of starts to form a little crush on him. But unfortunately, after this, Tomoe decides that they're going to move back. They're going to move out to Paris, and they kind of imply that, you know, so at least some time passes. So it does take, you know, a bit longer. But Kagami can tell that Kazuno has feelings for Miki, and that he just hasn't really worked up the courage to tell her. So she's like, okay, well, you know, I don't want to ruin my friendship by telling him how I feel because he clearly doesn't reciprocate. I just want to, you know, I'm fine with just simply having a good friend here. But then that kind of gets messed up when Tomoe makes the move back to Paris, which is very unfortunate. And then we get the girls standing up in the bath with their bath towels, and it's like, can we not have Marinette's bath towel open up down there, please? Like, you obviously can't see anything, it's still a kids show, but like, come on, it would not be that much of a stretch of the imagination for them to be a bit more covered than this. Come on. Like, The show is aimed at children, please! But anyways, they see a kaiju and decide to transform. At first, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get a 2D transformation sequence, and I was like, no, they're in bath towels. This is fine. We don't need 2D transformation sequences of them transforming into superheroes out of their bath towels. We don't need that. But they transformed and go to help, and this is another one where we can see that this is clearly pre-season 6 because Ladybug is in her original costume with just the red suit and the black spots. But then we go and see the actual heroes fighting, and they're kind of like a total mess. Not really sure what exactly they're doing. They're just firing lasers at it, and yeah, it's not going well. And Ladybug is like, okay, I don't think we're here to help them. I think we're here for you to talk to Kazuno. We should head back and let them handle this. And Ryuko's like, no, they need our help. And Ladybug uses her lucky charm to get a little keychain of the Eiffel Tower. She's like, see, even the lucky charm is saying we need to go. Listen, I'm not their guardian. They're new heroes. They'll learn. It's like, no, they need you. They need your guidance. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people saying that it's like, oh, here comes Marinette to save the day and be the Deus Ex Machina. I kind of like that Marinette's like, hey, this isn't really my place to interfere. It's like, okay, you know what? Because we have seen meddling Marinette a lot, and it's actually quite refreshing that Marinette doesn't want to meddle in this, because like this isn't her fight, it's not her place to meddle. It's like, you know what? Fair. But, Ryuko's like, okay, but we came all this way. You telling me we came here for nothing? It's like, oh, but listen, the Lucky Charm even says we shouldn't do this. But Ryuko is like, oh wait, that's Kazuno down there. He needs help. And she goes down and tries to give him like some advice, like, you must do your invocations like the others. Like, kind of making you think, wait, why do you seem familiar? And one of the superheroes is like, oh my gosh, you're Ryuko, you're a French superhero. And then Leo, who is also Miki, and I would not be surprised at all if my cat Leo thinks I'm talking about him. But yeah, she's named after the constellation Leo, because they're named after the 12 celestial bodies in astrology. And Ladybug's like, oh, Kagami, come on, Kagami. And you know, they continue to fight the kaiju when Ladybug realizes that there's something off about the kaiju, and she notices her Lucky Charm and realizes, oh my goodness, that's not a kaiju, that's the cab driver. So the heroes are, they don't even have a name yet, so I'm just gonna call them the heroes. The heroes are getting together to do their ultimate attack, like you see, you know, Power Rangers and Super Sentai do, and they're getting ready to do their, you know, Super Planet attack, Sailor Moon. But Ladybug tries to stop them, and unfortunately is too late, and all you can see left is the feet, and everything else is melted. To which Ladybug is just horrified. It's like, that was a human transformed into a kaiju. And it's like, wait, how do you know? It's intuition, or rather, I'd rather not take that chance. She is Miraculous Ladybug, and we get confirmation that the magic ladybugs actually can bring back the dead. So, that's a thing. Like, you kind of always hoped that she could do that, considering how many times people probably died in the show. It's like, yeah, you really hope that the magic ladybugs brought all those people back to life. But you know, she manages to restore the kaiju back to the way that it was. And like, oh great, well now we have to fight it all over again. But it's like, yeah, but there's a human inside. You can't destroy it. We have to find another way. And she uses her Lucky Charm again and gets a spray paint can. To which, Kazuno, I think he's Capricorn, is like, hey, that thing that I saw before, that might be the weakness. And Ladybug's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, since you can see it, take this spray paint and mark on there all those weaknesses so that we can all aim our attacks at those weak spots. So they aim their attacks and they manage to turn the cab driver back to normal, and Ladybug fixes everything again. And of course the cab driver is like, oh my gosh, Ladybug, this is the best day of my life! My guy, I know how you feel, because the end of the special confirms we're getting a Shot No More special! Shot No More special when? Tell me! I need it now! I need the Adrien / Shot Noir solo special in New York by himself! Saving the day without Ladybug! I need it! I need it now. And it's like, oh, and they realize that, yeah, there was a person inside. And, I guess their leader is named Ares. It's like, because he tries to be like, oh, you know, he comes up with a new name, and it's like, no, not that team name either, Ares. It's like, okay. It's kind of a running gag, is that they don't really have a team name yet. And it's like, well, we didn't really win, because we nearly disintegrated the poor taxi driver. But the guy's okay, and he drives off, and I wish I knew these characters' names, but there's not enough time to really get to know all 12 of these brand new characters. But so I'll just go by their colors. Blue is like, hey, how come you're in Tokyo, Ladybug? How long are you here? Can you come to my place? It's like, oh, well, you know, Ryuko and I were just in the area and thought we'd stop by to help. But Ryuko is like, you know, feeling unsure now. It's like, okay, well, sorry to bother you all. We're gonna leave now. And also, she's, you know, something that I did notice before, but I kind of forgot to say, is that we're also seeing Ryuko's old design here. So my guess is that this is also when, like, after this would be when she would upgrade her superhero outfit, because she also upgrades her actual outfit at the end of the story. But Ladybug is all concerned. It's like, there's something clearly not right with her. So she's like, yeah, we gotta get going. Bug out. And, you know, they head back to the inn. And it's like, then Leo just looks at him and it's like, you know her? What, who? Ryuko. I saw the way you were looking at her. Of course not. I wasn't looking at her in any special way. He's like, yeah, you kind of were. You were looking at her like you knew that she was Kagami. I don't think he actually knows. I think he was just, like, reminded of Kagami, but he can't be certain at this point. They also kind of do the Power Rangers thing of, like, taking their helmets off in public, and it's like, that's something we're gonna have to suspend our disbelief on, isn't it? But, yeah, although, you know, to be fair, we've also seen that the superheroes in New York are a lot more public and open about their identities as well, so to that extent, it would make sense that there be another country where superheroes are able to be open about their identities, at least more so than they are in France. But Kazuno goes home, and we see this little robot thing that looks kind of like a Kwami. Obviously, they're not going to be Kwamis, but they never really say what exactly they are, so I'm just going to call them Robo-Kwamis. But Kazuno, we find out he's feeling very insecure and feels like he's useless and not really worthy of being a stellar. So I guess that's what they call themselves. They're called stellars, like the people that use these stellar shards. Like his Robo-Kwami's like, you may not believe in yourself, but I believe in you. Say tai dai shobadayo. Sorry. Anime girl. And then we get a scene that, if you're a Marigami shipper, I don't ship this, but this scene is not helping. Like, Marigami shippers are eating in this special. Like, again, I don't ship it. I ship Marinette with Adrien and Kagami with Felix. I think the Kagami and Felix storyline is a really nice storyline, but I can definitely understand why some people do ship Marigami. This scene is not helping that. Kagami is throwing herself a little pity party, thinking that, you know, she makes everyone suffer, and Marinette is, you know, goes to comfort her. It's like, no, you don't make people suffer. What would have made people suffer is your mother succeeding in turning you into a ruthless and lone warrior like she wanted. But you have so much strength inside, and you love and you help people. And the only one suffering here is you. And Kagami just thinking about, you know, what she did to Kazuno, which, you know, we find out later. She blames herself for him losing his confidence. And it's like, and we do get that backstory later, but not until, like, she actually talks to Kazuno. And then we find out that the villains are being guided by this mysterious entity, and very much like in this was very miraculous Hawk Moth coded. we find out that the main villain's name is Modeler, which is an interesting name, to say the least. But that they are, they're trying to get their hands on the fragments of the Stedon Matrix, and in return for the mysterious entity helping the villain's going to help the entity to escape. I can already predict that once they save the mysterious entity, the entity's going to betray them. This is very Sailor Moon esque. Like, we got this plot line in Sailor Moon. We got this plot line in a couple different Power Rangers stories. Like, this very Super Sentai. It's like, yes, Sailor Moon is Magical Girl, but it's like Miraculous, where it's kind of like a mix of Magical Girl and Super Sentai. Because it follows the Super Sentai formula, but it's also very Magical Girl in its execution. Kind of like Miraculous, you know, it's very superhero coded, and they even call themselves superheroes, but it's essentially a magical girl show. just with Adrien being the magical boy. But yeah, it's very, like, this whole special is very Super Sentai coded, and I absolutely am just getting so many Power Rangers flashbacks. I was a Power Rangers girl as a kid. I was so into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I loved Kimberly. Kimberly and, oh my gosh. Oh, I can't even remember his name right now, because even though he's like the one that everyone knows, Tommy. Kimberly and Tommy. Yes, OTP. Pink and green. Yes. Sorry. I am reliving my childhood through this special. But, yeah, I guarantee the mysterious entity is going to betray them at the end once they release it. But then Marinette steals Kagami's phone. Marinette, we talked about this. And of course the Kwamis are encouraging her. It's like, what are you doing? I'm gonna send a message to Kagami's friends. Tiki, can you help me write in Japanese? And I do like the little bit every time Tiki goes into Marinette's ear. You can tell that Marinette has this weird feeling in her ear. And she messages them like, hey friends, I'm on holiday in Tokyo, and I'll be at my grandmother's booth this morning, signed Kagami. P.S. I'm going to have treats. And it's like, yeah, girl, that is not how Kagami talks. And they're all like, Kagami? Wait, how long were you in this chat? It's like, told you guys we need a new group chat for the ultimate defenders of the earth. And it's like, wow. Okay, ultimate what? Like, another name. It's like, oh, but what about Kagami? It's like, she'll respond to them in person. In the meantime, I'm gonna turn off her notifications so she doesn't know this is happening. Marinette girl. And Kagami sees right through it. Like, as they're on their way to the festival, Kagami's like, Marinette, you have that look on your face when you're planning something dubious. Oh, me? Nonsense. It's like, yeah, girl, she sees right through you. And then all of her friends are like, oh my gosh, Kagami, it's been so long. We missed you. We wish you would have said goodbye to us. It's like, really, you do? It's like yeah, we missed you. And it's like, so Kagami then introduces literally everybody with a quick flash of names, and it's like, yeah, there's only one character here you really need to care about, and that's Miki. And, you know, she introduces them to Marinette, and clearly we've got our Marinette stand-in as the fashion designer. Don't remember his name, but this guy's clearly going to be the fashion designer of the group. He's like, oh, it's like, this is some interesting fashion, but you wear it surprisingly well. It's like, yeah, she's just wearing a jacket over her pajamas. But it's like, yeah, oh, no, I forgot my suitcase at home. It's like, I mean, that is technically what happened. Kagami kind of whisked her away without her really having much of a chance to think. And she's like, oh, but, you know, Kagami mentioned this Kazuno person. Where is he? It's like, oh, well, he's probably running late. And so Marinette and is like, okay, well, we should go get him. Maki's like, I'm on to you. I'm going with you. And then, of course, we get the foodie of the group. It's like, hey, Kagami, what about these treats you said you were bringing? It's like, what? It's like, okay, yep, he's clearly the foodie of the group. It really is a shame that we didn't have enough time to flesh out all these characters. I get there's a lot to get through in this special, and this is the backdoor pilot, but like, as a pilot, you want to be like in a pilot, you want to be able to get to know all of the characters, and you don't really get to know even half of them, unfortunately. But anyways, the bad guys then attack this fishing boat. And like apparently like every fish in the boat itself and all of the people on the boat get I don't even want to call them akumatized. They didn't really come up with a name for it, but they get turned into kaijus. But Miki starts calling Marinette Frenchie instead of like learning her actual name. She's like, no need to beat around the bush with me, Frenchie. I know you sent that message to the group chat. Kagami doesn't talk anything like that. She hasn't even said hi to us for all this time that she's been in that group chat. She's like, okay, well, yeah, you got me. But, hey, do you know what's going on between Kagami and Kazuno? He's like, and like, Maki's just like straight up spilling the tea, like very nonchalant. And it's like, yeah, Kagami had a crush on my Kazuno. It's like, girl, you do not own him. She's clearly meant to be a tsundere. She's like, well, unfortunately for her, he's been in love with me since we were kids. And it's like, okay, you can calm down, tsundere. But she's not even, well, actually, is tsundere even the right word for it, though? Because, like, a tsundere is someone's like, I feel like I like you, Baka. But, like, it's like she's very open with the fact that she's into Kazuno. And Meredith's like, wait, hold on, you? Does that mean you're in love with him too? It's like, of course, he's the best, he's awesome. And she lists off a bunch of, you know, things that she likes about him. And it's like, okay, but are you two together? No, but you're in love with each other? That's because he's never dared to tell me how he feels. It's like, you know, you could tell him. She's like, no. And he can't find out. Okay, so I guess she is kind of being a tsundere, but like, she's only a tsundere towards Kazuno, which is a little unusual. Maybe that'll change in the actual show. I guess we'll find out. And she's kind of basically like Kagami in this. It's like, I will be victorious. My victory has to be earned. And they go to Kazuno's place, but they manage to beat him home. And Marinette's like, oh yeah, you know, why aren't you coming? It's like, because that wasn't Kagami. Oh yeah, guilty, that was me. But you know, you should really go talk to Kagami, because she thinks she hurt you, and you think that you hurt her. And it's the opposite, so you guys should talk about what happened to you. But they don't really get much of a chance to talk because it's a kaiju. Like, this honestly kind of fast-paced. Like, they could have used another, like, 20 minutes to pace this out better. The pacing is kind of all over the place. But, anyways, there's, like, the kaijus show up, and there's, like, a whole bunch of kaijus. There's some very large kaijus, but also some smaller ones as well that are attacking the people. And every time they touch someone, they turn that person into a kaiju. Which is like, okay, well, all of these are innocent people. How do we go about this? And we get another Super Sentai trope with this, where all of the heroes, without transforming, just start fighting off the monsters, along with Kagami. She's also fighting without transforming. And they take Marinette into Kazuno's place and it's like, hey, can you keep a promise? Yeah, sure, count on me. I'm gonna keep secrets. It's like, yeah, she kind of is. And then she gets surprised by the Robo-Kwamis. And they're, so apparently their transformation phrase is present. So they'll call out to their Robo-Kwami and then say present. So kind of like, Tiki, transform me. It's, I didn't catch the name, but like, you know, Robo-Kwami, Robo-Kwami Stellar, or present. And then Stellar Connection. And we get like these actual transformation sequences for Miki and Kazuno. So we got Stellar, Leo. Oh no, they say their own names and then present. So, okay, so it's Miki present, Kazuno present. But they both transform. And then they run off. And Tiki's like, you gonna transform? It's like, yeah, of course. And she uses her lucky charm and she gets a bike helmet that looks straight out of Beetleborgs. Like, it was clearly a Beetleborgs reference. Because she gets a helmet that looks very much like a Super Sentai Beetle helmet. It was a nice reference. She sees this red motorcycle down below, gets on it, and drives out to help out. And Kazuno manages to notice the same signs as before. And it's like, hey guys, this is where that sign is. You know, hit them there and we can transform them back. So it's kind of like, I'm going to make a lot more references to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's kind of like the putties. You know, you fight the putties first and then you fight the actual monster. In this case, they transform the humans back to normal and then go to fight the actual kaiju. But they're having trouble though because, you know, there are so many people for them to fight. To which Kagami is like, hey, listen, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna transform in front of everybody. Kagami, your identity is supposed to be a secret. And when Miki and Kazuno get there, the Blue is like, hey, you're not gonna believe this. Ryuko is Kagami. He's like, what? Kagami? And they like have their little moments, like, you know, staring at each other. Ladybug looking very cool on her motorcycle in this one shot. Shows up, sees them kind of staring each other down. But then Ladybug, Ryuko, and I forget his name. I forget his hero name, so I'm just gonna go with Kazuno. They all get kind of flung out in separate directions. Ladybug is like, okay, well, you know, we meet Ryuko. The only way that we can win this is if you talk to Kazuno, and I'm gonna help the others. And this kind of breaks continuity because we kind of already established that she can't actually do this. Because it's established in previous episodes that the way that her power works is she will use her lucky charm. She gets an object that allows her to defeat the supervillain, and then once the villain is defeated, she can do Miraculous Ladybug to repair everything. Which, earlier, it wasn't such a big deal earlier because technically the villain was defeated. But now it's like, okay, she uses the lucky charm, and then just immediately goes into Miraculous Ladybug to transform everybody back to normal. And it's like, that's not how it's always worked. So that's kind of a Deus Ex Machina right there. Like, kind of playing a bit loose with the established lore of Ladybug's power. She's never really been able to just lucky charm, miraculous ladybug, lucky charm, miraculous ladybug, lucky charm, miraculous ladybug. I guess maybe because her power is evolved now, you could kind of explain that, but this kind of just breaks what was originally established. But anyways, Kagami and Kazuno finally have their talk. Oh yeah, and Miki Miki actually got transformed and captured, but thanks to Ladybug changing her back, she now knows Meddler's, or Modeler's name. So now they know the name of their enemy. And Kagami finally talks to Kazuno, and it turns out when Tomoe and Gabriel made their arrangement for Kagami and Adrien to get married, to get together, Kagami, you know, she didn't want to go back, she didn't want, or not back, but she didn't want to go to Paris and leave her friends, so she wrote Kazuno a letter because she didn't really have the right words to say to him. But when she goes to give him the letter, she talks to him and she finds out that he's actually in love with Miki, which kind of breaks her heart because she was going to tell him that she was in love with him. But she kind of just chickens out and instead kind of like lashes out at him. And it's like she says, you know, the wrong things. Like, I don't want to dance. It's pointless. I don't want to dance with you. I'm moving to Paris and I don't ever want to see you again. We're not going to chat long distance or anything. It's not me, it's you, saying. Which, you know, she knew that that wasn't the truth, but she couldn't really come up with the right words to tell him the truth in a way that wouldn't hurt him. But so she ends up hurting him anyways. But she tells him that, you know, it was never him. She had to heal from that wound, but that was something that she felt that she needed to go through by herself, and that she has moved on. She's found someone that she loves, and she hopes that he will forgive her and allow himself to be with the girl that he loves. And so, yeah, they finally make up. They go back and they fight, and they call out the Megazords. Again, like, I kind of want to, like, if I do, you might have already seen it. I kind of want to make a short about, like, just of this sequence with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme going all over it. Like, just over it. Over top of it. It's like, this was just so... The Zords! But, anyways, they're like, hey, Ladybug, I bet you can't make one of these. So she's like, bet I can. Lucky Charm, and she makes her own Zord, which, doesn't have any power, so Ryuko uses her lightning dragon powers to power it. And then they fight the kaijus. It's pretty much just really very beautifully animated fight sequence. They defeat the kaijus, they save the day, and their leader is like, yeah, give it up for the Stellar Force. You know, stellar like the stones that give us our powers. And it's like, yeah, we actually kind of like that one. Let's go with that one. And then they do the group pound it, and they say their goodbyes, and then we get the whole Hawkmoth thing of, ooh, next time you will rue the day because next time I'm going to win. Yes, you wait. They do that whole thing, which, you know, even Miraculous didn't create that trope. That's another very Super Sentai thing to do. But yeah, they go to the festival. Marinette and Kagami get to wear some very pretty kimonos. I really love this. I love Marinette's Sakura kimono. She's very pretty. And they kind of imply that everyone kind of has figured out that Marinette is Ladybug. And it's like, yeah, you know, thanks to Ladybug, you know, oh, I wonder who, it's like, yeah, it's super lucky that she was here, yeah, sure is lucky. By the way, do you know Kagami's a superhero? What? Me? No way, all that stuff is supposed to be a secret, right? You're not supposed to tell anyone because that's the #1 rule of superheroes, at least in France, right? It's like, yeah, girl, you're not fooling anyone. They all figured you out. Like, they clocked your magical girl butt. Anyways, we then get, you know, more conversations with, you know, Kagami and Kazuno. They're friends again, and, you know, they buried the hatchet. Everything's good. Fireworks. Everything's hunky-dory. They get on the plane, and it transitions back into 3D. And we see Kagami's new Season 6 design, and it's like, yeah! Yeah, girl! And they even confirmed that she got her haircut while they were in Tokyo, too. And then Marinette's like, oh yeah, you know, I was actually really inspired by all of the Japanese fashions, and, you know, I might make myself something when we get back. It's like, oh, are you gonna make it before or after Adrien gets back? Like, not so subtly telling us to be thinking about Adrien. It's like, yeah, I hope things are... It's like, yeah, no, definitely before, because I want him to be surprised. Then she gives him a call, and it's like, hey, I hope things are in New York. It's probably nighttime. You're probably sleeping, but I just want to say I love you. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's really cute. And then Kagami, I'm guessing this is probably the first time she's ever told Felix that she loves him, because she calls to leave Kagami a message. And it's like, hey, I've always had a hard time saying these things, but it's about time I finally said it. I miss you. I can't stand living so far away from you. I hope we find a solution, and I love you. It's like, oh. And of course, Marinette is just being the audience surrogate, like, oh. Like, oh. Her face, like, yep, she's the audience in that moment. It's like, oh yeah, that was really cute. Then we get the ending credits thing, but it's all in 2D again, with all the heroes. And then we get the thing I mentioned before. We get Adrien. I'm guessing this is another thing that makes me think that this is from before they were like when they were like playing around with like the new art style and stuff, because Adrien's chin definitely looks a lot more like it did in the promotional material. Like, he looks kind of off here. So my best guess is that they actually saw our criticism online and said, hey, fans don't really like how Adrien looks. Maybe we should change this. Because he does look a lot more, his jaw is a lot more angular in this. But then Aeon flies down next to him. And it's like, oh my gosh, Aeon, you're here. It's like, oh, is everything all right, Adrien? Yeah, I'll reply later if we make it through. And then Plag comes out, and it's like, okay, Aeon technically can't see Plag. And then we see Adrien transforms, and it's like, Aeon said she was deleting their identities from her memory. But now Adrien is transforming, so Aeon now knows again that he is Chat Noir. And then we see Eagle, Majestia, and Night Owl with this giant hand blooming out of the sky, coming out of a portal, reaching at them. And Chat Noir special when? I need this special. I have a mighty need. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, I need this so much. This is why you guys are getting this right now instead of the other 3 episodes that I've already recorded my reviews for. Well, technically 2, but there's another one that's like a while ago that I just need to make a thumbnail for it. But I'm not holding back on this one. And yeah. Sorry for anyone getting spoiled by the thumbnail, but like it's literally like not even part of the review. It's not even part of the special itself. It's a subsequent material. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. My son is on screen and is getting his own special. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. But if you are also excited, then be sure to stick around. Thank you all for joining me today. We do all sorts of fun stuff on this channel, including playing video games, we do art, and I'll sometimes talk about cartoons and anime, so if you enjoy this stuff, then be sure to ring that bell icon to never miss a video. Thank you all for joining me today, and as always, I hope you all have a very magical day.